Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with today's trading action. All right, now the key themes in the market: stocks and the dollar fall with treasury yields while oil rebounds sharply. Now, the treasury yields are up a touch actually. By the time they go to print, markets move, and that's what happens. So let's just have a look at where everything is here on the global dashboard. Like equities down 1%, right? That's a little bit more like it. And the treasury yields are up slightly. Now, it's a bit of a mixed bag here on the major instruments. Um, if we come back and have a look at the charts, this is the easiest way to sort of see what's going on, right? If I just sort of blow these up a bit. Now, dollar yen, okay, owes me a little bit of cash from last week, but did have a nice clean break. Once it broke down, it has gone with it, all right? Now, and there's a couple of other things that are working quite well. So just bear this in mind, right? Like oil, okay, sort of bottomed out at 57 bucks, rallied to 60, back to 57, back to 60. Now that's pretty choppy price action for oil. Now the thing I like about it is dollar cab was responding to that sort of that dip, right? And then it comes back. So the connection between oil and dollar CAD is sort of back in the groove, even though oil is still cheaper. Now, the German election, I think it was Merz, missed out on being the chancellor. So, you know what? Overall, euro is going up, but there's a little bit of a fundamental geopolitical situation there, which was just ironed out. A little bit of dodgy price action, and then it's up, right? That's the thing. Last week, we've come into the markets. There's a bit of fatigue. All of a sudden, they start connecting, and traders are starting to build trust. And I'm talking about the guys in the banks, right? They are not, uh, you know, they are looking for a lot of trust in the markets to get sort of the cash moving. So now where we are, sterling is slightly up. Aussie's having a nice little run to the top side, as is the Kiwi, right? Now there's a couple of things in play here. Let me just come into actually the trade hub first, right? Now I've just sort of covered the treasury yields, US equity. So it's not like a natural risk on, risk off profile. That's something you have to understand. Currencies in the zone. Now we do have a bunch of these. Euro, well, it's a buy. It's a sell on the short term charts, but a buy in the long term. So just be aware of that. Now they're two different strategies. You can go short term, you can go short term, and long term. Of course you can. Now Swiss yen, it's in the buy zone. Euro, CAD, and Aussie Kiwi. Right now, if you have a look at the live trade signals themselves, there's quite a lot happening. But now what you want to do is isolate the best pairs. Usually, if I see a bit of a mismatch, like sell signal in the short term, buy signal in the long term, I'm like, oh, what's going on? You go and have a look in the charts and work it out where the best trading opportunities are. Like Euro CAD, bullish, buy zone. Like you don't have to go and reinvent the wheel here. There's plenty of opportunities. You're going to find so many good opportunities on the crosses here. And just to come into that, right? Actually, let me just come back to the data. Actually, let me just get the big calendar up here. All right. So now what we've got, just to run you through, because we do have a few things coming out today, which could offer up some cash. Now, Kiwi, we had Aussie building approvals and these things yesterday, really weak, right? There's a chance here for Aussie Kiwi to keep going down if we get stronger employment numbers here out of New Zealand, right? So Aussie Kiwi, I think for me, would be the one to go for, even though Kiwi against the dollar is sort of starting to move up as well. You come down through the European session, industrial orders. That's not a big thing. Manufacturing might be a bit more of a number. A couple of S&P construction numbers there out of the UK. They're always sort of got some interest. Retail sales out of the Eurozone. So you got like good second tier numbers here to try, like get some momentum back into the general movement. Now, Euro is going up, right? So just be aware of that. Now, the key, excuse me, the key event, sort of more at the end of the day, Fed, okay, no change of rates expected. So, and the market is waiting to hear a bit more from, the Fed, the official sort of guardian of the markets. So what we're looking for is some sort of guidance here. Now, 98%, no change, right? There's no change in rates in the US, okay? Understand that. And whereas the UK the next day will have, it's a 90% chance of a 0.25% cut. So they've basically fully factored in. So when it comes down to the Fed today, it's going to come down to what they're talking about, and that can get lost. Now, coming back to the live trade signals, just looking at Euro CAD. Okay, now at the moment, yeah, it's sort of just coming through a buy signal. It is going up in the long term. We do have, it was trading drifting sideways, bottomed out, and starting to sort of go up a little bit. I don't know if that's enough for me to get into the short term opportunity, but maybe long term it will. But you need to be considering what CAD's doing. So what I would do in that situation is just add uh, oil to the chart, right? That makes complete sense. So you can actually see what EuroCAD is doing. Now, I just need to invert that because we've got Euro against the CAD. And then you can start to see the relationship between oil and EuroCAD, right? It's looks pretty tight. Anyway, that's something to think about. Aussie Kiwi with the data coming out. Now, it does look like we've got a resistance line coming up here on the daily charts, and we were getting this signal here on the long-term chart, right? It's coming into an overbought situation up towards resistance. Stronger Kiwi employment numbers are just going to push these things straight down, right? And if you're trading that off the hourly charts, you can see exactly where it can go and where the next level of support is. So that's worth a look. If you're in the Australasian session, if you're in the European session, by all means, make sure you are having a look at the markets. It's one of those like pleasurable days, okay, because you've just got, nice numbers coming out that sort of can add a little bit of weight to the whole, is it going up or going down story, right? That's the way I sort of look at it. As I said, no change of rates from the Fed, so it's really going to come down to the numbers. Just keep an eye on the markets, right? When the Fed do make their announcement, it can take some time because it's not an interest rate change. The market may take some time to decipher what they're talking about. Sometimes you can see a spike up, sometimes you can see a spike down. Just keep an eye on the US yields afterwards, and equity markets might be already shut. They shouldn't be. So we'll see what the impact on the equities is. And that'll give us a lead in to what the dollar's doing against everything else. As you can see at the moment, it's just like a sea of red. So when there's no change from the Fed, it's a slower event, and they're not going to come out with anything dramatic. I assume they will be. We are waiting to see what's going on. We're going to wait for the numbers, right? And the numbers are still months away from really impacting a lot of the economics. So that's it, right? Just keep an eye on your charts and keep an eye on those daily charts, right? This is where you can get some real gorgeous things happening. I covered this yesterday. Dollar yen going down, comes back and retests that old support line, which is now acting as resistance. And there it is, right? One bad trade last week makes me second guess the next one, and that's what trading is. It's about consistency and just having confidence in the market. And I got to say, looking at the markets today, they look a lot different to yesterday. There's shape. You can feel the confidence in the market, and you can see where the direction is going long term. So let's try and nail these opportunities and go from there. All right, guys, have a good one. All the best. Cheerio.